Hi, I'm Rachel and welcome back to Auxhart Gardening. Today is our December garden tour, so let's get into it. Starting at the usual end of the bed, we have the garlic and onions right now. You can see my garlic is starting to come up, and my onions, although they look kind of sad right now, they will perk up when spring starts to come in. Today is actually the winter solstice, so shortest day of the year. After this it gets better, guys. We've got some turnips here. Been harvesting a few of these, and right now they're not growing very fast because of course there's not too much sunlight, but it's currently pretty warm out here, getting down to maybe like 30s at night, sometimes in the 20s, but mostly in the 30s and 40s. So they're doing pretty alright. Again, they're growing slowly, but they're fine here basically all winter. I can pull them as I need them and not worry too much about whether or not they're going to go bad. And since they're growing so slowly, I don't really have to worry about them getting like too large and bitter either. Still got some radishes back here. Been pulling from these. These are Icicle Radishes. I planted another round of radishes. They're going so slowly, but they've just now gotten their second set of leaves. And remember, even though radishes can come up really quickly, again, around the solstice when there's not that much sunlight to be had, they're going to grow a lot slower. I've also got another round of carrots planted. You can see they're just now starting to come up. And these are going to grow very slowly, but they should be ready sometime in the spring. I've got some other carrots, so these are about halfway along. And the carrots over at this end of the bed are the furthest along. And we can do a quick check on how they're doing. There's a root down there. Theoretically, these are Auxharts, so they should get much bigger than that. But these are still like good sized carrots, like, you know, could pull those whenever I want, really. We've got another little row of radishes. My kale that is still coming back from where I tried to cut it back. And this one too. Again, not growing very fast, but that'll speed up as the days get longer. And lastly, over here we've got French breakfast radishes. Something interesting to see is even though these radishes are cold weather crops, you can see that it's got a little bit of flaking on the skin here. This one's a good example. Everything that's sticking out of the ground doesn't really like to go below freezing. So everything that's below the ground, if I were to pull this up, would look just fine. So just something to keep in mind if you're growing radishes. They do survive frosts quite well, but they don't really like it. New kitten Kata is out today. Some of you haven't met her yet because she hasn't been allowed outside very long. But you know, now she's old enough, she's about 9 months. I figured it was time to let her explore outside. And she doesn't exactly have the same respect for the garden beds that Draco does, but she's learning. Something else I wanted to talk about is this area up here where I had cleared all the kudzu last year and replanted some just random cover crops that I had. And you'll notice there's a lot of tall dead weeds back here. A lot of those I didn't plant, they just seeded themselves. And I have the option right now, I could clear this back out again to plant some more of my own specific cover crops. But something important to note is that these dead stems are actually the house for some beneficial insects over the winter, right? And so if I want beneficial insects near my garden in the spring, I should leave these dead vines for them to overwinter in. And maybe in the spring I can clear them out if I want to plant something else here. But right now it's a good idea to just leave this be and let the bugs have their houses. So here we are at the trellis. Again, dead vines that I could pull out now, but I am intending to leave overwinter for any bugs that may decide that this is their home for the winter. In the greenhouse, I've got my one salad bag. The Tabasco plant that I had in here that I thought, oh well, maybe it'll overwinter in the greenhouse. No, it didn't do so well. It died. It lasted longer than the other ones that were outside, but it died. And the salad is doing fine. It's a cold weather crop. In this climate, it probably doesn't need to be in the greenhouse, but it's going to grow a little faster if it's warmer in the greenhouse. And in this little bed over here, we have even more carrots. These are some different varieties, but they're coming along nicely. And I had tried to plant rutabagas here, and that failed. So I put some of my extra onion starts in there. And I finally cut back that sage. It was about twice that size. You can kind of see the ring of where it was. And it just keeps coming back. It's doing great. All right, and we are already into the yard. The herbs look great, honestly. Maybe the one that looks the worst is the parsley, but I don't use all that much parsley. Oregano looks super healthy. Spearmint is not doing so great, but it was still recovering from the one time in the middle of the summer when I left it dry to get crispy. But as you can see, it's definitely making a comeback. And if we look up past all of the dead plants, back in the corner, there's a little life. This is that Tabasco pepper, by the way. You can see it died. But it's not as like dead as some of these. I haven't touched these. You know, this is just what happened when the cold came, and this is how the plant in the greenhouse looks. Still dead, not as ugly. Oh, and right in front of me are some more onions that I have put into containers. I don't know how they'll do, but I was running out of space in the raised bed and I still had starts, and you know, if I plant them, I might get something. If I don't plant them, I definitely won't get anything. Oh, look at Draco. I think he's drinking water out of that pot. He's so weird about water. Anyways, if we come back here, so I had planted this with some more rutabagas and radishes. And if you can tell, I don't know, the cats, mainly the kitten, has been digging in this. So a lot of my little seedlings got destroyed. There's still a little row of them here. I put radishes in the front and rutabagas in most of it. You can see there's like a couple of little sprouts here and there. So I might get something yet. But it just has not been the year for rutabagas. Did you do this? I bet you did this, didn't you, Kata? Yeah, look at that. Let's not. A little troublemaker. And that is it. Short and sweet garden tour. Not as much to see because it's the middle of December, winter solstice, but I am really proud of everything that I do have growing. I feel a lot better prepared for the spring than I did last year. And before long, it'll be time to start seeds, so that's exciting. But I will take you guys with me when I do that. There'll probably be another January garden tour before that happens, though. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I wish you all happy gardening.